Welcome back to the Meeple Marathon and my 12 Days of Christmas Challenge. Today is day 4, or 4 days till Christmas, and today I'm going to be discussing my 4 top, what I believe is going to be Kickstarter campaigns for 2022. So earlier in the challenge I talked about my most anticipated upcoming games of 2022. So those are games that I'm pretty sure are going to deliver in 2022. We've already seen the Kickstarter campaign for them. These, however, are games that we probably are just going to see the campaign. Maybe we'll see the campaign early enough that we'll actually see the game in 2022. Not all of them necessarily are confirmed to be coming to a Kickstarter or a Game Found, so we will see. So that's why these are set apart, because historically, other games of their nature have been crowdfunded, so I'm guessing these ones are going to be crowdfunded, but again, there's a lot of speculation in this list, so that's why it's just my top 4. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with number 4, and that is Tidal Blades Rise of the Unfolders. So Tidal Blades was a game that I was very interested in at the time that it hit Kickstarter, but it seemed like it was way too much geared towards the multiplayer, and I wasn't sure, I wasn't so set on the solo mode. And from what I hear, the solo mode is great. It's a great little game. It's a very unique game. And honestly, I don't really know much about it, and I don't have any experience with the original game, which is why this one is number 4, because this is essentially a dungeon crawler set in the Tidal Blades universe. So this isn't really Tidal Blades 2, even though it is being called Tidal Blades 2 Rise of the Unfolders. But so you can see here, each player takes the role of a new Tidal Blade. In this cooperative, narrative-rich board game, players will work together through 18 scenarios. Each hero is equipped with the Nexus Grid, allowing them to build up actions and create powerful combos. There's some card play involved, but essentially we're talking like a narrative campaign here, whereas the original game was, a lengthy game of itself, but was simply just a one-off. So again, there's not a whole lot that I know about this, but supposedly there were some prototypes that people were able to play, and supposedly like the layout of the maps and minute areas for strategic combat, and then you're moving around. You can see some dual layer player boards in the background there. It definitely looks like it could be something. There's Jeremy Howard from Man vs. Meeple. It looks like there's going to be a storybook that's unfolding, which I am really appreciating. The whole storybook implementation in narrative-driven games. Just flip it open and there you go. So yeah, again, not a whole lot is known about this, at least from my standpoint, but I've heard such good things about Tidal Blades, and dungeon crawlers are right up my alley. So hence why my number 4 is Tidal Blades Rise of the Unfolders. Tidal Blades, the original game, was on Kickstarter, so I'm just assuming that this one's also going to go to Kickstarter. If the campaign's in 2022, chances are we probably won't see the game till 2023. Alright, up next on the list, so my number 3 is Wayfarers of the South Tigris. So this is Garfield Games' next trilogy. They had the North Sea trilogy, and then they had the West Kingdom trilogy, and now they have the South Tigris trilogy. So the only thing left is going to be the East something. So this one I'm a little curious about, because they have kickstarted all of their content for West Kingdom. But this one is saying that their plan is for it to come out in 2022, and then you can see down here there's even going to be Inventors and then Scholars. So that's going to complete the trilogy, and one of them is 2023, one of them is supposedly 2024. So this one is the one that I'm really not sure about whether they're gonna do a crowdfunding or not. Maybe they've feel like they've defined themselves enough that they can just go straight to publication, similar to like what Red Raven Games did with, they had a huge successful Kickstarter with Sleeping Gods, but then decided to go straight to retail with Now or Never. And I'm not complaining. It just historically, all of the West Kingdom stuff has been was so their most recent trilogy has all been on Kickstarter. So again, there's not much pictures here. You can read the description here for yourself. You're going to be mapping the land, water, and sky. Players can gain points upgrading their caravans, gaining inspiration from nobles. I'm assuming it's going to be right up their alley. Little worker placement with the same artwork and the same kind of concepts and kind of 3 different unique worker placement games here. Here you can see it says area majority, set collection, tile placement, track movement. But yeah, so again, historically, I would have figured this one was going to go to Kickstarter like all their others, but the way some people are talking about their plans for having this released in 2022, I just don't see that happening unless we're going to get the Kickstarter in January. But that, a lot of people frown on that because they still are working to deliver Architects of the West Kingdom Works of Wonder, the expansion and the big box for Architects. So, they haven't gotten that out the door yet. Some people might be a little worried about them starting a Kickstarter before they've delivered their most recent project. Other companies do it. We'll see. But anyways, that is my number 3 upcoming potential crowdfunding campaign of 2022. All right, number 2 is Gotham City Chronicles Season 3. This is one that was actually supposed to be here. You can see here, returns on Kickstarter Q4 2021. So they are running a little behind, and we are aware of that. And I'm not in any rush, but this should be coming actually pretty early, hopefully in 2022. So you can see this is Season 3 of the board game Gotham City Chronicles and a Batman RPG. The Batman RPG is got me a little interested, but it's more the Season 3 content. And let's take a look at one of Monolith's Facebook posts way back in 2020. So well over a year ago, they were highlighting what's coming in Season 3. And right here, this is what I am most excited about: a solo player cooperative game mode. We'll provide you the rules to play. We're all in this together or totally alone lockdown modes. These rules are different than those we've designed for the Conan board game, as we want each game to continue to develop on its own identity. So that right there alone, and this one, a total rulebook and mission booklet upgrade by Paul Grogan. If those of you not familiar, Paul Grogan does have his own YouTube channel, and his big thing is, teaching the rules. He's excellent at that. He does a lot of live playthroughs, but his YouTube channel is really his side hustle because his main job is consulting on rule books. So Monolith has gone to him. He's probably one of the godfathers of rule books currently, and so I have a lot of faith that he. Here you can see, here's the host of Gaming Rules. That's his board game channel. YouTube channel, because the rule book was a mess. It took me like 3 read-throughs. It's very long. It was a hot mess, and I think a lot of that was why I shied away so much from attempting to even bring this to my friends in a gaming group. And then, if you noticed in my last video, or 2 videos ago, where I talked about how a BGG fan had created a solo variant for the game. Well, now they're making it official. So very excited about that. Very excited about an overhauled rulebook and mission booklet just to improve quality of life. This will also get me a chance to pick up. Really, all I want is a Kickstarter with the new rulebook that they're going to give everybody. Hopefully, it's free to anybody that pledges, and a solo cooperative game mode expansion, and then the ability to go back and purchase, because I don't have all of the stuff from Season 1 and Season 2. I basically have the core set. I'd like to get my hands on versus mode and a few of the other smaller expansions. So excited for this. I'm almost certain this is coming to Kickstarter. They've already talked about it. So yeah, that's my number 2, which probably I actually have the most knowledge of how it's coming and when it's coming. So, all right, and finally here, the last one, and this one actually just very recently kind of snuck through, and I've heard some rumblings on the wind, so I don't know a whole lot about it, but it's going to be some content for Madara, and to my knowledge, it's called Beyond the Veil. So I've seen some other pictures, but one of the pictures, and I saw it now, I haven't been able to track it down myself, and I didn't want to scalp somebody else's video to show you the picture, but it's actually a picture of a Madara character standing, and then there's like this dividing line in the middle, and then a more real life version of this same person standing in like Central Park, New York. Obviously it's still cartoon drawn, but you can tell fantastical fantasy world over here, and they're both like touching in the middle. Makes me feel like they are possibly like drawing on some kind of portal between worlds, but from what I have heard, it is going to be some possible Madara board game content, but also a Madara RPG, which seems like it could be right up my alley after hopefully becoming very entrenched in the board game and loving it and loving the story. Now I can help create my own story. So what you have here is a news post, and this is from Brooklyn, one of the main original designers of Madara, talking about in the trenches and what he's in development of, but now he starts talking about to show future content off to everyone and what he's been working on, and he wants to bring Madara to life. And so there's all these great pieces of artwork in here. He's talking about how he does, like, you know, he'll do a concept airship like this, and then this is what they come up with. You know, some really fun artwork, character development, basically concept environments. And then there's like scenes like this, which are very much not like what you would do a dungeon crawler in. So again, more thoughts that this is going to be an RPG of some sort. Again, they are still in the midst of working on a lot of finishing up development with Acts 2 and 3, which we'll be delivering sometime in 2022. So it may be a while before we see anything. And again, this is a lot of speculation on my part, which is why it is on this list and not like my list of upcoming games, because who knows when we'll see this, if it will actually ever exist. But it's definitely has tweaked my interest, and I've been scouring the internet, and there's not a whole lot out there, not a lot to find. Basically some very just vague stuff on Madara's website here under their news section. So that is what I think to be possible new Madara content and or Madara RPG by Succubus Publishing. And that's my number 1. And again, these are all potential upcoming campaigns or crowdfunding campaigns for 2022. So that's going to do it for today. If you've been enjoying these videos, please consider giving them a thumbs up. We've got 3 more to go. So if you'd like to be part of those videos, please consider subscribing to the channel. Hit that bell icon so you can be notified when the remaining 3 hit the channel. Once again, thanks for watching, and have a great day.